Well, welcome to episode 3, as ever outside the Fox ABC, home of amateur and professional champions, Anthony.
It is, mate.
How many champions in there today?
Professional, 1. Rhiannon was in, wasn't she?
World champion.
Rest of them, world champion. Big one, but rest
of it. It was busy and sweaty and very hot.
It was busy. We had a bit of everything today. We had now Chris, Baby Joyce over as well.
You just threw my introduction there as well. Just building up to that,
but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Who else? But yeah, do you know what? I don't even mention it. I'm a bit rough today. Not rough through going out. I'm dying today. So I was lucky out Paul, my cousin, helped me out a little bit, to be honest.
You know what I do? Built differently though, aren't you?
I am built different. I'm the last of a dying breed. What's it called? You've got to show up, haven't you, though? Do you know what I mean?
You do.
I can't give out this advice that, do you know what I mean? You've got a bit of a sniffle, don't turn in. What kind of example is that?
Yeah, who was missing today? There was only...
Levi. Yeah.
Mo Ali.
Yeah.
Missing anyone else?
That was it. Levi was working.
Yeah, no, it was very, very busy. And there was a special guest today as well. Young man from Drogheda, County Louth.
Yes.
Davy.
Yeah.
Davy Joyce. Very good amateur, yeah.
I was saying as soon as he was last out in Haringey, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Good kid, southpaw, well schooled, as you'd expect. So he's a few seniors, didn't he?
He's won at least 2 seniors.
Two seniors, yeah.
National titles over.
Jeez. Yeah.
So we were going to work up to introducing our special guest, not just like Davy Joyce, who's been in and trained today, but his friend here, Chris McKenna, boxing journalist, columnist, for Reach, for Daily Star, and anything else I'm missing? You do football as well, Chris?
Mirror as well, so keep yourself busy and out of trouble from time.
Yeah. Well, firstly about Davy then, I mean, I know you know him from the Holy Family in Drogheda. Your brother Damien runs the gym, and so obviously he's looked after Davy all through his career. Very, very talented lad, but he wants to turn over now, so he's just coming over to the UK, having a look around and seeing what's what and what his next move is.
Yeah, so he's kind of... He was won a senior league title at 60 kilos, and obviously that wasn't an Olympic weight, so he dropped down 57 and didn't quite work out, and now obviously Olympics is gone for at the very least 4 years, if not forever, so it's that kind of...
I was going to say that, it might be forever, mightn't it?
Forever, so staying amateur now is probably not the best option, so he's just looking at his options and seeing what's out there and seeing what the game's all about. It's a different game, as Anthony will know better than anybody. When you switch over, you go from that club environment and sometimes you're a bit out on your own, so he needs to figure out what he wants to do. But he's a very talented kid. He's got I think a soil that won't take much adapting to the pros, and he's got a bit of, when you'd see him in about, and what I don't get to see a hell of a lot of them because I'm living over in England a lot, but all the stories I hear is that he's got that bit about...
Bit of dog about him, even he did,
A bit of cock and swagger.
Yeah, you know I think they need that,
he wouldn't be shouting his mouth off, but when he gets in the ring, he does his talking in there, and he's not afraid to put himself about. So no, he's a good kid, and hopefully he can get a good opportunity and see where he can go from here.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting. You mentioned the Olympics. I mean, I know you've been covering football, haven't you, in pre-season and stuff like that.
But over to Paris?
No, I didn't get all that, no.
But I know you're an avid watcher, obviously the amateur side of the sport and everything else. So, I mean, I suppose with the boxing being key thing for you, but who stood out for you? I mean, in terms of GB and Ireland teams, I suppose, to start with, but anything else, anyone?
Well, obviously, it's probably weirdly disappointing one for GB and Ireland, considering the standards they've set. Like 20 years ago would have been decent because neither of them were playing. The last few Olympics they've been collecting a lot of medals, and obviously Ireland get Kelly Harrington a great goal, the back-to-back Olympic champion, unbelievable success story, and Lewis Richardson to get a bronze medal in a tough weight division, and kind of a guy who had to battle to get down into that weight, and it wasn't easy for him. And
it was probably less expected of him than anyone else.
No, of course. Listen, out the GB team, listen, I thought there was a few bad decisions in that league. I thought, I thought was very unlucky. Is it Rosie Eccles?
Yeah.
I thought she was very unlucky. But it's like Ireland done unbelievable with the amount of, fighters who qualified for the Olympics. So it's just, obviously, listen, I think, again, probably a few decisions that didn't go the way as well.
Yeah, they had a few.
There's a little bit unlucky as well. I mean, but I was saying it to Chris before he started, Kelly Harrington, that was unbelievable. That was one of my favourite.
She likes the tune as well.
Yeah.
She's saying she can sing. She can do it all.
But it's a great story, like, inner city Dublin to become a national star like that. And so that was great. I mean, what else did I mean? For looking at them, the males, it was Uzbekistan have really taken over. Do
you know what? You got the Val Barker.
I don't think I can't remember who announced it.
I can't think who said it now.
Obviously, they would want to do it. Although
what was it called?
Cuban was brilliant.
Oh, he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Brilliant. Landy Alvarez, he was absolutely.
Yeah, he was up there. Or the small Uzbek. Who be the French lad? Yeah, he was brilliant. Brilliant.
That was a great fight.
It was.
It must have been.
Something else with the French lad. Obviously, the big controversy was the Algerian girl as well, wasn't it? And then the Chinese girl. So. No, it's. I think that was the sad thing, is in that was the talk of the boxing.
Yeah, that's the sad. And if this is the end of the Olympics, or boxing at the Olympics, I don't want it to be remembered. I wrote a column on Saturday about that. It's like there's been so many controversies in amateur boxing over the years. Not just this Olympics, for '88 with Roy Jones and all of that. There's a lot of negatives, but there's been some brilliant stuff.
Oh, unbelievable!
And I still would argue that it's the best form of boxing. I know a lot of people would argue you can start the 12-round, the epic wars that we see in the pro game, but 3-3s, the pace of it is always very fast. It's non-stop. It's very skillful.
Yeah.
And I grew up on it. Talking about the Holy Family, that was where the '92 team trained.
Yeah.
Like, I was a bit young to remember it, but obviously
Michael Carruth.
Wayne McCullough won silver.
Jeez,
before Joel Casamano.
Was that Barcelona? Barcelona, yeah.
That's the last male gold down in the ring. But Wayne McCullough's silver that year was unbelievable.
Oh, your hero, Wayne McCullough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
His childhood memory of the Pocket Rocket fan club.
Yeah.
So,
and he's unbelievable. He done everything over in America, didn't he?
Vegas.
He went to Vegas quite early. And he had some big fights in Dublin.
Oh, massive, yeah.
He had some big ones in Dublin. But yeah, he was a great fighter. But so I grew up on amateur boxing, '96, and Floyd Mayweather. And it was just like, so many great fights and great moments that I don't want. If it is the end of boxing at the Olympics, that's not remembered. Just
There's another good story as well. Cindy and Gamba getting a medal. Although I think she deserved. Yeah, he deserved to get the final.
Listen, a messy fight. I thought she was really unlucky. Me, I thought the first round I was thinking, have all 5 judges gone the other way? And I thought with the point deduction, that'll be enough against the Panamanian girl who was very awkward, wasn't she?
Very long.
I thought Cindy was very unlucky.
Great kind of timing for something like that to happen. With everything that's going on in the UK, not getting into politics.
Of course,
Bring us down, Chris. Why don't we?
No, but you know what though? That was one of my favourite bits. That was one of my favourite bits of the Olympics.
She found a new life and made something. She made something of herself.
Honestly, that was one of my favourite bits of the Olympics. You know, the elite gym, Alex Matvienko.
When they were all watching there.
All watching it. The local mayor was there. One day all watching Cindy, packed out gym, and I thought, every fight, and I thought, that's class.
Yeah.
That was genuinely one of my that was one of my favourite bits of it. I was a bit useless this year with the Olympics. Watched a bit of the break dancing.
I was feeling right.
You know what? It's not going LA. It was
I know. Did you see
the Australian girl?
Ray Gunn.
It was fantastic.
It's not fair. She got a lot of stick, which is ridiculous. Though.
She's got more rhythm than me. She's got more rhythm.
Well, do you know what I mean? Who's people trolling, giving all sorts of abuse because the routine, all right, was a bit different, but she's been flown over to Paris to compete at the Olympics. She's an Olympian now, and she should be sticking 2 fingers at everyone, saying, "You know what? You're not an Olympian, I am. So you can laugh all you like at my routine." So all Regal, but I don't think he'll be widely missed.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it a disservice.
I'm going to disagree.
Olympics.
Breakdancing.
Breakdancers.
Sorry, that's how you want to do it.
Boxing. You know what you think about boxing?
It's a boxing podcast.
No.
Dismissing us.
But boxing, no. Do you know what I think? You know what, though? You're saying there now, the amount of controversy that boxing causes. Yeah. Being honest, my worry is they just think it's too much of an headache. It's too much of an headache. It's
the IOC have damaged boxing as well over the years. Like, I understand them that rightly so they're growing the women's side of it, but is it at the expense of men's weight? You don't bring other sports, you don't bring more women's events into other sports and then cut them.
Just mad. When you mentioned about Davey and it was just like the amount of weights but cut like the weight now of even the 71 and the next weight up's 80. That's a massive, that's 9 kilos. That's just far too big. It is. It's dangerous when they go on about it being safer and stuff like that. That's
weighing in every day and then
putting serious miles on the clock.
And having to weigh in that every day. That's not easy. I mean,
serious miles on the clock.
Well, each week we've got a special letter. And A was the first one, B was the second. So I think C.
C, yeah, B, C's after B.
C, yeah, right. And producer Josh reckons challenge is the word of the day.
Challenge.
Is the word of the day, yeah. Because, well, it was just in the Olympics. So, right, forget boxing. Take boxing out of the equation.
Yeah.
What Olympic sport would you be doing?
Oh, wow. You've put me right on.
There's a challenge here. And we've ruled out the breakdancing.
Rule out the breakdancing.
Yeah.
When you say doing, what actually?
Well, all right. It's however you want to play it. It's either what would you have been semi-good at, or what would you fancy doing?
I wasn't a bad long distance runner when I was younger, so
Yeah.
I'd give a go with maybe the 10k,
Something like
a
that.
marathon. But my marathon best time's about an hour slower than what they've actually won it, so I don't think I'd be competing. But
Can you do sub 3 hours?
I did 3:08.
It's not
You
bad.
could just
3
tuck
hours.
in behind the Kenyans and see how you get on.
Yeah, see how I get on, yeah. I wouldn't fancy swimming. I swim like a brick, so top
Yeah.
and bottom, so I wouldn't
So long distance.
yeah.
Anthony,
Might be rock climbing, me. Rock climbing made its debut. I'd be good at that, me.
would you?
Yeah, I think I would.
Well, the last time you ski on the wall, you got hit with a brick.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be that now I think about it. Now, do you know what I
brings
bring?
us-
Triple jump.
jump. Oh,
I'm not. I'm
okay.
a bit small for it.
Yeah.
Might even be a diver like Tom Daly-esque.
Yeah, he's a little fella, isn't he? I think Tom Daly.
Yeah,
So it's-
probably built for the diving.
All right, but that you mentioned challenge then now, so that was probably your biggest challenge out of the ring, wasn't it? When you, Chris, so subtly,
Yeah, I got
that terrible memory.
second prize. Yeah, I
Yes.
still struggle speaking about it, to be honest.
But so when you did, for those that have forgotten, you were chasing burglars and you badly snapped your ankle and cocked that up, didn't it? That's your running days over, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And then you
That's that
fractured your
running
skull.
now.
Fractured skull, the world champion, the world title fight was put back.
I did.
But,
Yeah.
Was that the biggest challenge outside of the ring for you?
No,
in your
of course
career?
it was. Of course it was.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course it was. Because I didn't know there was on a box again, did I?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm getting a chip off my ankle now. I'm moaning a lot, but yeah, I'm worried about it.
Have you mentioned that you're not feeling well today?
I'm not, but I'm just getting on with it.
Yeah.
I'm getting on with it.
Been through.
Yeah.
So in terms of the challenge in the ring, what was the one thing that maybe you thought this is the biggest hurdle? Don't fancy this. How did the mental, the physical challenges that you face in the lead up
It's
or
not
in a
mental,
contest?
and like even stuff like where obviously it was as well. It was almost one defeat away from ending my career or something like that. So that was always the biggest challenge mentally. It would it'd send you mental. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't stop thinking about it. You're obsessed with it, aren't you? So that was it. I think mentally.
Was that that was at the earlier part of your career, not the very beginning, but you're talking Kieran Farrell kind of territory,
and even
Gavin Rees
and stuff.
that kind of
yeah.
Because you'd had the challenges with Gary Sykes and
Gary,
Gary Matthews, and
so bloody hell, you've had it a million times, but there was a good few downs, weren't there? Do you know what I mean? A few second prizes. So that was the hardest to stick with it when you think, I'm never going to get my chance again. That was the hardest mentally.
So it's more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, other than the accident, because that was a bit physical as well. So so I knew once I got the all clear, I was going to be all right there.
What were the biggest challenges in your? I mean, you were a good amateur boxer as well.
Say good. I gave me a crack.
I heard that. I was playing it now.
Yeah.
Challenges having to stand across the ring from Davey Oliver Joyce as an 11-year-old, not knowing what I was getting into, and he gave me an absolute pasting.
Yeah. Do you know what? He won his first 30-odd fights in, didn't he, David Oliver Joyce?
I think he won a national title every year until Carl Frampton beat him in 08.
Yes. He was good, wasn't he? I remember
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh, he was good. Strong, wasn't he? Strong.
Aggressive, come forward.
Well, that's what I didn't know when I said to David then. Is it Sandy's the dads are cousins, aren't they? So yeah. Good family, yeah. Them, John Joe. I fought John Joe. He lost to Felix Diaz. I thought he beat him. Felix Diaz went on to win gold.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Who else were you in with then that we managed?
Probably that would be it. I was in Frampton's weight a few times, but thankfully he never got his hands on me.
Yeah.
But I was around, but not good enough. So I had to then change careers and start criticising boxers, even though I wasn't good enough to be one.
So what are the biggest challenges now in journalism?
Oh, the biggest challenges is kind of this transition from print to digital, isn't it? And
Like with YouTube and stuff like that. And
YouTube, the amount of competition out there now for not only getting access, because you've got so many more people trying to get interviews and stories and the changes, and even like talking about football, the whole transfer stories, the way they've changed. Now, people like Romano and Ornstein now breaking stories all the time. It's all so different now. But yeah, the biggest challenge for the industry is like how do we grow the internet to make it as financially, I suppose, good as the papers were back in the day, so that the industry can continue to pay people good money, that they'll stay in it and deliver good stories. And that's probably the biggest. Well, it's also social media now, which just makes it so more difficult. Trying to get stories is more difficult. Trying to sift through the rubbish. There's so much nonsense out there, and you're getting calls every time. Is this right? Is this right? Is this right? Because people can just tweet what they want, and some stuff can just become fact within an hour, and it's nowhere near it.
We've just seen that, all the how that can absolutely explode at the Olympics, or the misinformation. I mean, it's very, very obvious. But from your point of view as well, though, for those that don't really understand how it works on the ground in journalism, it's very different, football to boxing, isn't it? It's incredible, really. I mean, if people just work in boxing and have never worked in football, I think their head would be blown off.
The distance you kept that in a sense that now it used to be very different. Like there used to be days back in 80s and 90s where journalists could go down to the football training ground every day, maybe not watch training, but be able to hang around, stop the players as they're coming out, get an interview every day. Now, if you turn up at a football training ground and it's not a press conference day, you will be soon told where to go.
Well, you won't get past the many barriers.
You won't get near.
Physical barriers, not just the,
So it's, and if you want to get an interview, you've got to go through the press officer, who'll have to clear with the player's agent, who'll have to, and then the player has to agree to.
So you can't just get in the line and like.
No, but
after a game, you can, like, they walk through a mixer and you can try and stop them, but that's a lot more challenging than it was. But say coming down to a gym like yours and being allowed in and see training and grab people for interviews, that's just doesn't happen in football anymore. And it means that their stories don't get told as well. And there is some good stories in football. And footballers live a different life to boxers, especially good ones, because at 8 they're thrown into an academy, so they're taken out of the real world and lot, aren't they? Whereas a boxer, you have all these stories because they grow up generally in working class areas where bad stuff happens, and they have all these tales to tell when they become stars, and it makes great stories. But football's the beast, though. Everybody wants to know about football, but the access sounds good.
It's not the footballer's fault necessarily, the way that they're cocooned, but the problem is that they're maladjusted a lot of the time. Then when they do have to deal with things and deal with issues and also deal with the press, and that's why a lot of it's just robotic and awful. And an obvious difference as well is that footballers don't have to self-promote, whereas boxers have to do that, or they're not going to get anywhere.
Sell pay-per-views and tickets and become a name. You have to do interviews.
You've got to start throwing tables and spitting like Crawler did, and just doing all them mad things, and he just
he was very difficult to get interviews with. He used to like asking for copy of pro.
Jeez.
It was hard work. It was only when he became a world champion he changed. He just became this big ego.
It happens. It happens. We're still struggling with ego today.
Well, you've made that transition though, and in terms of now, Chris did it very early in terms of from amateur boxer as journalism, as you say. You've gone from boxer now to trainer, and do you still find mental challenges as a trainer different to boxer? I mean, what are the how do you approach it now differently? Were you going in there working with these lads? You want to get punched in the head anymore?
Definitely, like sort of studying fighters, upcoming fights, and then sometimes it's mental when like inspiring and not doing what you're wanting to. But like I've got to remember that also happened with me. Like where not every day you perform, and it takes a little bit of time, so it probably helps me a little bit. But of course, and certain things they're not getting, or some fighters get it a lot quicker than other. You've got to treat each one of them different. You've got to treat each one of them different. So mentally, that's very challenging. Sometimes when it's taking a fight, it's far too long to get it's frustrating, but you've got to bear with it.
It's the psychology of it. You've got to deal with all the different fighters and their personalities, which does remind me, actually, it's another true story when this fella's in a pub and he sees this beautiful woman at the bar. And he sits down and he can't pluck up the courage. He just wants to go over and talk to her, and he's just too nervous, too shy. But eventually he goes over and he says, listen, I'm sorry to be forward, but I see you sat on your own, and I just wondered if there's any chance that you'd mind if I can join you for a drink, if I could buy you a drink. And then she just kind of looks up at him, top of her voice, she goes, no, I will not have sex with you. All the eyes of the pub on this fella. So he wants to die. This is true story. So he slings back to the corner, and he's sitting there absolutely dying. And a few minutes later, she walks over to him and she just whispers, she says, listen, I'm really sorry about that, but you see, I'm a psychology student and I'm doing this thesis on how people react in very awkward situations.
Yeah.
And he just looked up and he went, £500! Anyway, so that's psychology. But yeah, so you actually do have to deal with these these fires in a very different way, each one, because they're all different characters.
You only have to look today and you can pretty much gather how different some of them are. Always a saying, Joe Gallagher told me, Joe Gallagher, like Kerry Case, some need a carrot, some need a stick.
Right, well, we're not going to tell any tales from inside the gym.
No, I'm not, but no, it is. It's like, some respond better to certain things.
Yeah. So, Anthony, as I like to ask you, because you're a big fan of, and Chris was talking about before, obviously, this digital age that we live in, but you love to pick out one or two heroes of the week from social media. So who's the social media hero?
Oh, you know what? I mustn't have said him, and I thought I said him already. But it's because I was watching him again last night. Nasty. He's massive in Ireland. I can't believe you don't know him. Hold the balls. Do you not remember it?
No.
So basically, he goes around reviewing spice bags. Spice bags are big in Ireland. I feel like we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think we have. And he goes round and he'll rate the spice bag.
Right.
And he's just got a few belting lines. Yeah, nasty. And but food reviewers are becoming massive now. We'll have a curry on a Saturday night, and then he'll go through, and he's not from Cardiff or all like that. No, he's good. Nasty 2K, I think he's called on it. I want to get him now. He's good. He's one of my favourite people on social media. Can't think who else. Yeah. No, he's good. But spice bags are massive in Ireland, aren't they?
Bag of beige food, really, pretty much.
Yeah, salt and pepper stuff. Just
a lot of salt.
It's just a bag of dry mouth in it.
Yeah.
You called out as one of your social media heroes, the mutton fella.
Yeah, Muttonistas. Muttonistas. He just goes around reviewing Guinness. No, not just Guinness, ales as well.
Yeah, but he was in the Toucan that we've spoken about before.
Toucan, one of my favourite pubs in London.
Really rates that one.
I don't think I've been to that.
Toucan's like up there.
Soho Square.
Yeah, it's just there with Guinness.
Me to one time we walked for about an hour to find it.
Where was that?
Oh, God knows.
South, north,
It was near
central.
Soho.
It's in these. It's up
A Guinness pub, or was it just any boozer?
It was a weird. It was terrible.
Was it a late one?
Yeah.
Very late.
in the Dolphin.
Was it a Spanish one?
Yes.
Oh, the Spanish and cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of hidden gems in.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody giving away trade secrets.
Yeah, no, I'm not naming the street because I don't. You know what I mean? Some places are sacred. You know.
You don't want especially if you're coming down, the paparazzi might be there.
No, it's not just that. You just don't want riffraff going to places that are.
a hidden gem, that.
You've been there as well.
A few times. A few bad nights there.
There we go. Right, well, I think that'll do us, Anthony. Chris, it's been lovely having your company. What's on the agenda for you work-wise now?
Obviously Premier League's back this weekend, so it's all ramping up now, and transfer news is hotting up because clubs are having to move quickly now. So, yeah, chasing up a few tales about Liverpool, and boxing's a bit quiet at the minute. So
you're Manchester-based, but you look after the Merseyside clubs, don't you?
Yeah, so Liverpool and Everton. So Everton's been an interesting story all summer.
Yeah.
Ownership falling through, and they've signed some players still. They've done a lot of business, whereas Liverpool have yet to make a signing. So waiting to see what happens there. They're in for Zubamendi from Real Sociedad, and he's waiting to make his decision whether he wants to come or not, and that'll probably happen, I'm guessing, later in the week, and that'll be their first signing. If they get any more in, we'll see, but big summer, big season ahead for them, new manager and a lot of change. So
yeah.
Boxing wise, you've been doing the Wembley show.
Yes, on the 21st. Yeah,
There's 5 or 6 fights in there.
Yeah. So
what are you looking forward to the most? Kacachi Warrington.
I think that's interesting just because Kachi delivered against Cordina, like really stepped up that night, and Josh has had a hell of a career, and he's going up in weight now, which may or may
does the weight suit him? Is the timing right?
He's had a lot of hard fights.
No, he has had hard fights. Do you know what? Cruz, who he lost to, and there's no shame in that. He had a horrific knockout, didn't it? Was it
Lopez?
Leo. Yeah, Lopez. Sorry, not Cruz. Sorry, Dom. Lopez always one of the knockouts of the year.
Yeah.
See it weekend.
I didn't see it.
Oh,
I've seen the knockout. It's horrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
He got knocked out.
Lopez got knocked out.
There you go. What else is on there? Trying to think now at the top of my head.
Josh Kelly, Liam Smith.
Yeah.
Dubois, AJ.
Right.
Hamza, Shiraz, Tyler Denner.
Boatsy Hutchison.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
He's
Boatsy Hutchinson.
Well, he's obviously good amateur pedigree, but never at senior level. Bit of a mixed bag at pro. Obviously.
He impressed last time out, though, didn't he?
He was very good last time. He was very, very good. And he's a bit of a character, isn't he? So the fight week will be interesting.
Yeah,
because
Josh was very chilled and
that'll be an interesting fight. But what Dubois Joshua is really interesting because if you had told me 2 or 3 years ago that Daniel Dubois would be fighting at Wembley,
every credit. Deserved as well.
Deserved.
Yeah.
Comeback has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
To
give him a chance.
Because of his power.
Yeah. No, you can't not give him a chance.
It's weird. I thought if this goes later, it might suit Hergovich, but then it didn't. It went the other way. So I think, though, if Dubois has to put a dent in Joshua early, and he has to make him worried about the power, and make Joshua try and go into his shell a bit. I think Joshua might be a different beast now with Davison. I think he's getting...
He looks well under Ben, doesn't he?
A dog back in.
Yeah, he is. He's the team there. They're doing great things, and I think he looks fantastic. The only thing I will say is Otto Wallin and Francis Ngannou. No disrespect. It's like I can't take the Ngannou win seriously.
No,
do you know what I mean?
That was
like Dubois has been in much better company in Miller and Hergovich lately. So do you know what I mean? It's great. He's a good fighter. Really good fighter.
Usyk as well. Remember? I mean,
do you know what? I thought he'd done better against Usyk than what was given credit for.
I didn't like the way he went out in the fight, but he done well in the fight.
He had his little moments, didn't he?
Yeah. So it's a great fight, and it'll be a hell of a night. Hopefully, I'll tell you one thing. I hope it's not as late as that LA show was the other week. It's too late.
7:10 in the morning to come off there.
Yeah.
Not all heroes wear capes.
And you're not feeling well. I don't know if you've said anything.
Yeah.
You're still not feeling well.
I'm still recovering from that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Still recovering from that. That was the toughest shift I've ever done. Because as my mum would say, you've never done a day's work in your life. That 9:30 till 7:10 in the morning, that was a pretty tough shift.
Any more money now?
No. I already put the invoice in, so it's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, having people bring you sandwiches and coffee all through the night.
Did a few espressos, and
And there won't be too many people weeping.
No.
Anyway,
it's a tough one.
On that note, because Anthony's not feeling very well, you need to get yourself off to bed and make sure you're fit and firing in the morning.
I will do.
All right, thanks again, Chris. We'll see you soon. There we are. This podcast brought to you in association with Active Trades and FK Group.